Hello, friends, my audiences. Welcome to the show, Jack Chow, with East West, the G&E TV, with the EDI as the flagship. Doing this show for this many years as a host, I feel this is not a job, it's a privilege. It's a privilege to meet all kinds of good friends. It's a privilege to touch all kinds of subjects. And for example, with my good friend, one of my biggest friends, Ken Hemming, I'm learning on a day-to-day basis. So I told him just now, I said, well, once a week, well, it's too scarce.
Yeah.
Probably won't do twice.
We just never get off the air.
Mr. Ken Hemming is a good friend to the community too. He is, though for life, a CPA. He loves the community so much, and he is a philosopher, a thinker, a think tank of guy who wrote a book, Life is Simple, 100 Words to Live By, which is almost my Bible.
Right? I appreciate that.
I like it, and I do it. And by the way, I myself did translate it word by word from English to Chinese.
Really nice job.
I really liked it.
Really nice job.
I mean, had I not liked it that much, I wouldn't have done that job.
It was work.
It's 100,000 words.
It was work.
Translation.
It was work, yes. And thank you. It's
humongous job.
And many Chinese have told me it's
and
beautiful.
You know, a book that kind of gives you the power, the emotion to translate from head to toe, A to Z. This thick.
Yes.
You're talking about better be a
passion.
Better be a good book.
Right.
Good book, right?
Thank you, Jack.
So the passion is there, the emotion is there, everything, right? Okay, now, he's a political commentator, and I like his take, his diehard rightist, and he's a diehard Republican. He is constitutional, I know.
That's all I care about.
You want to say that?
The
right?
Constitution.
Okay, very good. Today joining me is, joining me in the subject, talking about our weekly, is my friend Ken Hemming again. Right? And we have lots of subject to touch.
We do.
Number one, let's talk about the presidential order, which he signed yesterday regarding Obamacare.
Oh, okay, right.
What's your comment?
And let me say, it's always a joy for me to wake up in the morning and to come out and see you and share space with your viewers.
Same here.
It's
same
just
here.
my
All
honor.
Right, good. All right, good.
I did watch the press conference that he held yesterday and the signing of this executive order that can have a very, very nice impact on the rates charged for insurance, and where people then don't have to pay for services for health coverages that they don't need. They're not even applicable to their gender, okay? Mm-hmm. So the two main things are it will take a few months to get instituted, but maybe up to 6 months, but where you can then form associations of maybe truck drivers or maybe coal miners or something, associations that in a larger group can negotiate rates much more effectively with insurance companies. And that is going to be a very big impact, assuming it can come to fruition. Because the more of you, the more the financial impact there is on the insurance company in negotiating a contract. And if it comes off right, it'll make a big difference. And also then to be able to do this across state lines. I've audited insurance companies. I know the insurance business in certain areas very well. And when it just doesn't make sense. We have one country with 50 states. Why insurance companies have to serve just that one state rather than compete even with insurance companies in Florida? Because with the communication abilities in America now, it doesn't matter where you are. You can do business with each other. So that's a big deal.
Okay, so much for a comment as a general comment. But many are asking the following questions.
Yes, sir.
I hope that you might have the answer. is he, question number one, is he doing the supplement to Obamacare, add up to Obamacare, adding up the details to Obamacare, or is he, once again, overturning Obamacare?
Oh, it's a partial dismantling of Obamacare, which, as you know, was brought upon America based on a series of lies.
Instead of using dismantling, because I like the idea of forming the union organizations.
Yeah, the associations.
Or trade associations.
Yeah.
Call it for more precise, trade associations. How about that?
Okay.
All right. Now, I like the concept of forming the trade associations for better rate,
right,
for better negotiation position,
exactly.
Power,
yeah,
in searching around for the best deals with the market, and plus with the market that goes no boundaries,
right,
can go out of state everywhere. So I like these two ideas. Yeah. Right now,
I do like those.
With these two ideas, instead of using a term called dismantling Obamacare, can we say an improvement or amendment?
You know, I don't think I can actually be comfortable saying that, because it is not it is not helping, it is not amending Obamacare. It is eliminating some of the restrictions of Obamacare. Look, our Congress failed to repeal Obamacare. We failed so far.
Even limit, right? Yeah. Even to eliminate, you're still talking about an amendment. You're still talking about a supplement. You're still talking about adding up with the details. You know what, Ken? I respect you. I respect your brain as same exactly as I respect your face.
That's a problem.
Right? That's a problem.
That's a problem.
Right? Okay, now, but the thing is that I do have problems when people, even talking about for example, if I'm holding a Samsung phone.
Yes, sir.
Right? I may go ahead, say my Samsung phone, I may say anything good about my Samsung phone.
Sure.
Right? Okay, now, instead of us talking about my Samsung phone, I'm holding my Samsung phone criticizing Apple.
Okay.
That is the part I don't like.
Okay.
You see where I stand? Okay, now, here's a cup of water. Half cup of water.
Yes, sir.
Right? People always say as an old cliche.
Right.
You talk about half empty or half full.
I'm always half full.
Okay, here's Obamacare, which is not perfect.
It's a disaster.
Okay, now, which is, once again, we're talking about half full or half empty. Could be a disaster, could be never perfect. Okay, now, could it be problematic, could be whatever. Here is a half a glass of water, right? Now, when we say something, we want to add up to make it better, right? Well, you can call it overturn, you can call it destroy, or you can call it dismantle, whatsoever. Yet, the idea is good. Why do you have to portray your such good proposal with an ugly picture, with an ugly face, with an ugly name?
Yeah, well, my mother gave me the ugly face. But on the Obamacare thing, the greatest way to improve it is to repeal it. It was put upon our American country on lies. Lies. You could keep your doctor if you like it.
Right?
It was intended. It was intended, though, Jack. This is a very serious comment. Intended to fail, so then it would go to one-payer government control.
What I'm saying is that all we have discussed so far, within the 5 or 6 minutes, is that we're talking about the few things that you and I agreed upon already. Yeah. Okay. Now, the difference is that different ways of calling them, right?
Right.
However, the different ways of naming them or calling them reflects different politics, different political stand.
And yes, and all I try to do is express myself as I see the truth.
All I'm asking is that can we forget that part, please?
Yes, but we can't forget the truth.
Good. Forget that part, okay?
Yeah.
Just to say, with the supplement that people are allowed to form their own trade union,
Great.
trade organization. Now we have, instead of 2 or 3, we have 1,000
Right.
truck drivers.
Right.
And the truck driver group goes to the market to negotiate. Now the market, instead of in California, we're talking about all the 50 states.
Yes.
All the 50 states. Okay, who has the better rate?
Correct. Right.
Like that. Okay, these two things are so beautiful.
Right.
Why don't we glorify them?
We are.
Rather than giving them a bad name, dismantling Obama.
Okay, here's
sabotaging Obama.
We're not sabotaging. The citizens of America were sabotaged by Obamacare. But Jack, let me say, here's the cool thing about truckers, okay? 1 out of every, which I love, by the way. I mean, if you could back up a double long FedEx truck, you're my hero. But 1 out of 50 jobs in America is associated with the trucking industry. Now that's phenomenal. I mean, if you think about the millions, billions of miles driven every day transporting goods and services, goods across America is fantastic. The business is unbelievable. And 1 out of 50 jobs are associated.
We just happen to take that as an example.
It's a good example.
And which reflects that what Donald Trump has so far described, has so far thinking, is in the right direction.
And he was smart enough to present his commentary yesterday in front of invited truckers.
Back to United States Constitution.
Yes, sir.
Right? Since the day of written, we have done 27 constitutions.
Well,
does either or had
you talking about amendments?
Had either of the 27 amendment an intention to overturn the Constitution? No. It is only a betterment, all right, and an amendment.
That was the intentions of those. Yes, correct. Clarification right? Also. Yes. Now, extension of understanding.
I want to clarify. I want to reiterate. How about that?
Yes, sir.
My only problem is that why people, with the moment they walk out, they hold their political banner. Why don't we put them down like that?
Jack,
Please.
I have no banner to hold. Our leftist leaders of the Democratic Party try to divide and conquer into other issues like race and gender preference.
How about issue by issue?
Yeah, that's fine.
We don't generalize them. How about that?
Right?
Yeah. Issue by issue. For example, the gender issue, I'm on your side. The same-sex marriage issue,
right.
I'm on your side.
Right.
All right. So there are lots of common ground between you and me.
Absolutely.
Right? Why do we have to, you and I, each hold a poor political banner to do the thing we want to do?
But no. I don't think we do. I don't think we do. I'm the most calm, accepting man.
And then please, my dear friend, let me ask you a huge favor.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about the nature of the press release itself.
Yeah.
Without adding any political color on it, especially when the color is so intensive.
Well, okay. I'm not talking politics. I'm talking what is going on.
It
right?
is not
An hour from now, Nancy Pelosi.
It is non-politics.
Yeah.
Yet people made it political.
Well, Nancy Pelosi's holding a press conference in about 45 minutes from now, during which she will absolutely attack and demean Trump's suggestions on Obamacare.
And then even with Donald Trump at the press release yesterday, about approximately the same time yesterday.
Yes, sir.
He, in the short press release, he mentioned the name of Obama. He mentioned the Democrats 3 times each.
Well, that's not very much,
really.
Does
he have to?
Yeah, I guess so. I think so. You have to name the transition. You have to name the transition.
What if he walks out, say, here's what I'm going to sell, right? And it is good. It is super good. That's it.
But it's only good.
Like I'm promoting my Samsung phone.
But it's super good when it's
without
compared
having
to what it's
without having
improving.
to, no. This is if this is the nature of politics, I hate my politics.
Well, we're not in politics. We're civilians.
And then we sound like
I wouldn't want to do it.
We sound so political. Okay, now, since the starting,
Yes.
we had only like a few minutes, like 2 minutes, talking about the issues of.
Yeah.
The rest of which
And we agreed on them.
We argue on the political terms.
Well, you know,
So we don't have to do that, my dear friend Ken.
1/3 of our
Please.
economy is involved in the healthcare industry. You know, when you
Yes.
drive around the streets
it's
now,
such a
Jack,
big industry.
I'm completely blown away by every other building is some medical center. I mean, it's
It is
such
It
a
is
big
the biggest
industry.
industry
And it-
of the United States.
And the problem would be is if it was run by the
You know why?
government,
You
the
know why?
government
You know
runs
why?
nothing
You know
efficiently.
why it is the biggest industry? Because nobody wants to die. All right?
I'm willing to die. I'm ready. But
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but
Go ahead.
not during the show.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
not during the
Now,
show.
So now, I want to ask you a favor once
Yeah.
again. Never do it the way that I described. Just to call it a spade a spade. That's
Right.
it.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Now, my dear audiences, I finally succeeded in convincing my dear friend, my brother Ken Hemming, to call a spade, a diamond, a diamond. All right?
Yes.
How about that?
You're a diamond.
All right. No, you're a heart. Okay. All right. We'll be right back, my dear friends. Hello, dear friends. I'm so happy because I just successfully convinced my friend, who is a die-hard Starman, well, something matter of fact, we do not disagree at all.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
now, another thing that I will not disagree with him, he mentioned only one word about it: the tax cut.
Oh, yes.
I'm kind of yearning
Yes.
for that.
We need it. You know, this Congress will have been a complete failure. They failed to repeal and replace Obamacare, like with one vote by John McCain, who I definitely do not consider a hero. But in terms of party loyalty and
Here you go again.
yeah, well, no, but I'm just saying that because it was right that close. And then now the tax cuts. I see what I can't understand on politics. Why would anybody not want the middle class to pay less taxes and have a better lifestyle? I don't understand it because all you hear from certain parts of the politics is that, oh, the rich, if they get a tax cut, that's terrible. It's not terrible. They make all the jobs. They do all the jobs. Without successful people, there's no jobs. Someone's got to hire people, and so everybody deserves. We have kind of one of the highest corporate, certainly, and individual tax rates in the world.
Regardless,
Yes.
I mean, tax cut, the combination of the two words are the best loved words
Yeah.
of all English words.
It's rate reduction.
Even better than lovemaking, all right?
Right.
So
right,
these two words, tax cut,
right.
and nobody goes against it, for sure. Yet, once again, it is the same philosophy that I explained to you already, only how you hold it, how you promote it.
That's fine. I like that.
If
Yeah.
you promote it in a way trying to overthrow your counterpart.
Well,
In
there's
this
no
case-
counterparts.
In this case, the Democrats.
Yeah, it's not overthrowing.
It sounds ugly. You know that?
Well, it only sounds ugly if they attack you, if you are attacked for trying to make the daily life for average Americans more fruitful and prosperous.
Oh yeah,
And
of
that's the
course.
whole purpose.
That's the common goal.
Right, but it's not.
No
But I don't think it's a
party-
common
No
goal.
party, nobody is here to say that our target is to make everybody poorer than before.
Well, I will say this, okay. You know, there are certain elements in politics and certain parties that like to keep people dependent on them rather
is
than
a-
create more independence for
This
them.
is a
Jack.
Friday the 13th.
It is. I hope I get through it.
On Friday the 13th, I'll try the best I can to not get into trouble.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Now, the way I try is that I try to compromise with you. Right? How about we say everything in a different way?
Okay.
Rather than in a political way, we say it in a different way.
Yeah.
Okay. To make it better, to make life better for every single American, is a common goal, regardless where you stand. Am I right? Now,
it depends
the
if you
tax
believe in free enterprise capitalism, or if you believe in a different form
That's
of government.
page number 2.
Right.
That's page number 2.
Okay.
We're on page number 1.
Right. Okay.
Page number 1 talking about tax cut
Yeah.
as how you cut, right?
Yeah.
Where do you get the money you cut already, right?
Right.
Those are on page 3, page 4.
Yeah.
We go on and on because we have a full country to talk about. There are millions of pages there, right?
There are.
On page number 1, tax cut is a good thing,
It's a good thing, corporate
thing.
and individual.
right?
And
Now, we have, do you remember we're talking about the football, the ball,
with the thin
part,
ends and the big
the
fat middle.
middle part being,
And we're the fat middle.
being
middle class.
kind of shrunk,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
tax cut more, I mean, most of the part
Right.
refers to the middle part.
Putting air back into the
Yes,
football.
yes. We want to
exactly
make
right.
it fat again.
Right.
That's the
Middle class,
yeah, the middle class. That's it.
prosperous and
That's it.
plentiful.
And to the bottom, they are always tax free anyway. They're not paying anyway.
Well, 40% of the people pay nothing, and,
Yeah.
and we,
Well,
you know,
we're fine with it. We're good. We're good with it.
well, you're better with it than I am, but yes, that's fine.
Yeah, sure, but
Yeah.
we're fine. We have. I'm not happy with it.
Yeah.
I just can't live with it
Right.
because well, as a society,
Yeah.
you're not from the jungle. You're a civilized society,
Mm-hmm.
all right? You have humanity to talk about. Humanitarianism sometimes takes the core. Okay, now let them, right? Let them live. Let them survive. In the meantime, those folks like you and me, we can live, we survive, and we have a little extra. We want to pay tax.
See,
right?
and what's happened in the last 20 years, there's been no little extra for our wage earners. There's just been no increase in purchasing power for about 20 years, and that's the problem.
That's a problem.
Yeah, 'cause
That's
when I
why-
started young,
that's why
Jack,
we need the tax cut.
In the first 20 years of my career, my purchasing power went up every year.
I
You know,
know.
I worked hard,
You
I
have
got
many
nice
cars,
raises.
more cars than you could count.
Well, I had quality service providing to clients, which allowed us to charge rates, and the economy was doing well, and so I made more every year.
Yeah.
And that's the way, that was normal, okay? You know, not, you know, you're supposed to be rewarded for your efforts. And like I said earlier to you, I talked to a guy yesterday and I said, you know, every day's a good day when you have a job. And right now, the job growth is really on fire.
When I first came was 34 years ago. I can even remember. I mean, remember the street. You know, Hamburg. For a 2-bedroom.
Yeah.
2-bedroom, 1 bath.
Yeah.
Very nice kitchen area.
Right.
Even with a bar, with a counter bar.
Right.
Or
You can
something
sit
like
there
that.
and, yeah.
470.
Yeah. Well,
470.
my first paycheck as a CPA
Now for that kind
was
of
$462.50 take
for
home.
that kind of setting,
Yeah.
you're probably talking about 2,400. 2,400.
Oh yeah, no. See, well, both rents and housing, home ownership. Look, I live in Pasadena, in San Marino, and these prices are out. I don't know who's affording them. You know, a lot of it is foreign money and helping their kids, which is fine.
Well, jokingly, we're richer than before.
Uh,
Yeah, for the same setting of a rental,
yeah,
we have 2,400 to pay instead of 470 to pay.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
On the other,
Yeah.
our money is depreciated. The value is depreciated.
That's right.
right.
That's right. There's too many dollars around.
Now, all points are coming together to the part that let's do some tax cut.
Yes,
Let's
it's
do
time.
some tax cut, all right?
Yeah.
It's time to do so. It's high time we did something to the tax.
Back to Ronald Reagan,
Back
helping
to Ronald
guide us.
Reagan,
Yeah,
right? Back to Ronald Reagan, right?
yeah.
And of course, you're talking about, the government has to have its revenue.
Well, also,
They're always elsewhere to get money.
but Jack, the government is too big.
Yeah.
And it needs to be shrunk,
All right,
and they
very
spend
good.
money like drunken sailors.
Take California, for example.
I'd like to take it.
Take California, for example.
I'd like to put it somewhere.
Okay? They have those huge numbers of government employees who are on beautiful pension, handsome pension,
Unfunded liabilities.
which with numbers,
right.
with numbers,
Incredible.
with numbers taken at the golden years.
Well, yes.
Now we have to kill somebody to credit that contract.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
And that was part of the essence in Obamacare.
For that size of government, I really have a problem.
Yes, you're
I
right.
really agree with them. Say, hey, go ahead, shrink the government.
Right. We need to. Now, President Trump has put a freeze on hiring for federal employees and not replacing those that retire. And that's good. We spend money that is, with regulations, that is unbelievable. And we are reducing regulations. That's having a beautiful impact on our economy.
Nevertheless, right? People, we don't need to care about that much. Somebody else will. But people do have problem understanding the moments. For example, right now with the brush fire in Northern California.
I want to,
right?
yes.
In Irvine.
Yeah.
Irvine area, right? With the Canyon area, right? Now, those are the moments we want to have a bigger government.
Well, not bigger, but
Harvey,
adequate. Yeah.
With Harvey, with Irma, with all those problems,
Right.
disasters.
It's been seriously.
We want a big one. Now,
right. But you can also hire new people for temporary things when there's a massive need.
Yeah.
But by the way, there's 31 dead in Northern California. Yeah, there's 31 dead in Northern California and 400 missing. I bless all their souls, because there's some very seriously bad things happening.
Those missing could be,
Well, they could be found.
They could be found. I know, yeah.
But
okay,
they're
And I remember a long time ago, I had this discussion with my friend Kurt Hagman, also Republican, and he didn't like big government himself. Right? Okay.
I despise it.
And to issues like this, he kind of prefers a way of letting the government to contract it.
Right.
To
I can see that.
It.
Right.
For example, DMV.
Right.
He says the DMV, the government has run DMV. DMV has those employees who just live, who lie on beautiful pensions.
Right.
Who takes forever, offs and benefits, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
To simplify it.
Yeah.
Just a contract DMV job.
Privatize it, and you're not paying for the pensions.
Outsiders.
Right.
You're not paying the pension.
Right. I like that. I support that all the way.
Smaller money.
I like that.
Now, back to tax cut. If we adopted those measures like Kurt Hagman. Mr. Kurt Hagman is now the honorable county supervisor of San Bernardino County.
Right, and I met him. Yeah.
You met him, right?
Yes, I did.
A guy with lots of thoughts.
Good guy.
Well, with
good
lots
man.
of thoughts. Now, for the government, if you have a fire, you can hire somebody, outsource it.
Yeah.
Now that we can hire somebody for war, right? Why can't we hire somebody for a brush fire?
Right. Now you have to have certain people available on a momentary notice, but then you can expand that group by contracting.
With that,
Right.
With that, people could be mobilized to form business.
And there can be,
to establish their business.
There can be a business because you can fly anywhere in 3 hours.
If the government is ready to do that,
right.
Of course, you and I can establish a fire extinguishing company.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So, and those people can do on a freelance basis.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And there are some of those. Okay, that exist.
Very good. All right, my dear audiences. The more we talk, the more we find that we have way out. Probably will be better off with a tax cut, with a smaller government. The government can go smaller yet still doing the same side of the job
Correct.
by contracting, right? That could be something really very beautiful. Way out. A short moment out. When we come back, let's talk about a little bit of Iran, shall we?
Okay.
All right, very good. Hello, dear friends, my lovely audience. Welcome back to the discussion of the weekly. On a Friday the 13th, I try to be as friendly as possible with my friend.
Right. Tolerate me.
I believe he is doing the same thing. I'm joking. He will never. In his book, there is a word of offend, right?
Yeah.
And he says himself, as a writer of that book, he is never offendable.
I'm unoffendable, no matter what. And it's a great freedom if you can get yourself there.
Very good. I like that. All right. That's a beautiful state of mind.
It is.
This morning, news has it that President Trump had decertified the Iranian nuclear deal.
Right.
That previously former President Obama, dealt with Iran.
Right.
What's your comment about that?
Well, in one interesting thing too is there was like 5 other nations involved in the Iran deal, and they're saying that if we see every 90 days it's supposed to be certified by the president.
60 or 90?
I think it's 90.
60.
Okay, whatever it is. I think it's 90, you think it's 60. So it's one of those.
Yeah.
But to say that Iran is in compliance with the essence of the agreement, okay? And our president does not believe they are, and by decertifying it, what it does is it moves the need to assess the value of the agreement to Congress. And then Congress has to decide whether they will reinstitute sanctions against Iran or not. And Congress, as they often do, could also do nothing, because a lot of times they do nothing.
Is there a certain number or something to quantify the alliances?
Well, to quantify, no, I'm not.
I mean,
is there
to quantify the compliances?
Well, actually, there's impediments to really verifying the compliance, because you've got, if you want to go in and look at a nuclear facility, you've got to give them like 3 weeks notice and everything. They can do anything they want. So there's really no effective way of measuring their compliance. And then it comes down to, like, some of the people are saying now, well, if we decertify it, then our allies won't think we're reliable for agreements, but we shouldn't be reliable for a rotten agreement.
Wait.
Yeah, okay.
You were saying that from day one, when it's not a treaty, it's agreement, right?
It's a nuclear...
a nuclear agreement.
Right.
It's a deal, it's a temporary deal, right?
Well, 10 years you can make all the nuclear bombs.
When that was signed, do they think, I mean, did the both parties understand there's no way of quantifying?
Well, certainly
of the compliance?
The Iranians did, and that's all that counts. They know that there's no way they can be held to their feet held to the fire.
Did Obama know that?
Kerry, our Secretary of State who negotiated in Obama, we got nothing of value in the agreement, nothing, and gave everything away, including $1.8 billion flown in airplanes and cash to Iran to buy weapons that can kill Americans in their terror activities. That is, to me, I'm very depressed over it. It's impossible to conceive of negotiating because we got nothing and gave up everything. And I'm not the only one saying that. I mean, it's just not, I don't know what was wrong with the thinking, but I also,
For quite a bit, for example, 3 years ago, the Iranian nuclear deal was quite a subject, quite a hot topic.
Right.
And later it subdued, it diminished.
Until we have a new election.
Until we have a new election,
right.
And then it's brought up. For that,
right.
I probably would say at least one thing: this administration has brought us back on vigilance.
Yes, sir.
Of that issue. That is the part that I support, right? As to details, right?
Yeah,
right now, you really have to think about, you have to deal both ends with the candle or one end of a candle at a time. What I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now, you have North Korea, who says this morning that our finger is closer to the trigger.
Well, do you believe any word that comes out of North Korea?
The guy says it. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's another issue. We're
Right.
talking about the fact that you burn the candle with both hands or one hand, right?
Yep.
Now, and then you have Iran, right? With the Iranian issue brought up, all at the same time, you have to deal with both.
That's
That
right.
is the part that I'm a little worried.
I am too, because the last 4 administrations did nothing to.
No.
Well, they did nothing.
Once
Republican
again,
and Democrat.
Once
Jack.
again, let's talk about this situation without pointing fingers at anybody.
Well, you have
Shall
to
we
point
please?
fingers because President Trump inherited
no.
an unbelievable
Okay.
problems.
None of the parties. Nobody did anything. How about that?
Well, and Trump could choose to do the same, but he doesn't.
You were talking about in the past, none
They
of
failed.
the party did anything.
They failed.
How about that?
They failed.
All right, good.
All
Okay,
administrations.
that's it. So, okay, and as
Right.
equally not to say anything, right? Now we're talking about. I'm giving you this page of having to deal with both.
Right. So let me just ask a very nice question. Are you willing individually to allow either Iran or North Korea to have nuclear capabilities that could hit America or that could wipe out Israel? Are you willing to do that,
Of
or do you
course
want
not.
to?
Of
Okay.
course
So
not.
then, Trump. So the only. So we hope diplomacy works. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
And also, don't forget, Iran's over there. All the other Saudi Arabia and all, they're against
Ken,
Iran.
Come on, Ken.
What's wrong?
You are not a 3-year-old.
That's
Neither
right.
am I. Right. I give you an example. Right. There are hospitals. There are emergency. There are daycare. Am I right?
There are
Right.
for all age groups.
Why? Because there are age group.
Right.
There are patient groups.
Yeah.
Right? Not everybody needs an emergency room.
Yeah.
Not everybody can be dealt with a daycare.
Correct. Right.
Okay, now,
Right.
you have different levels of standard of sickness. Somebody dying if you are not sending them to emergency. Am I right? Okay, now.
Every day.
Internationally, in handling international issues or nuclear issues, you have situation exactly like the same. Am I right? Okay, now, between Iran and North Korea, who you want to deal like emergency?
Well, I think the most
That is
urgent
my
emergency is North Korea.
Huh?
The most urgent emergency is
Aha.
North Korea.
All right.
But the biggest one is
Yeah,
Iran.
Okay. I understand. And there's another bigger one. Someday, somehow, the solar term, the whole solar term is going to explode.
Well, then,
Right.
and another complicating factor is Russia is getting naughtier
All right.
every day.
All right. Why we line them up, and we see emergency, and then we do next step, and then we do next step. All right. So now, at this very moment, to put Iran on the table, is that smart enough or not smart enough? That is my question.
It's smart enough because the more you delay, the more you fail. So you have to address on a timely basis the urgent needs worldwide now. And so it's called multitasking. Our poor president, I mean, with all these hurricanes, with all of this Obamacare, with all of this nuclear stuff, with everything, it is a very hard
Is
job.
our president dealing with the multi-subjects?
Of course, on a second by second basis, absolutely.
Okay.
And he is, I think he's gifted enough to do it and is
But
also
one thing for
passionate
sure,
enough to succeed.
One thing for sure, he has an issue each day.
Oh man, I would want his job. Would you?
You
Not
would.
me.
You will need that job, do you?
I'm blushing because I would like to have.
Okay,
I'd like to know his wife, but I wouldn't want his job.
Look at your face, my angle.
Yeah.
You look like him a lot.
Yeah. No, I've been
Exactly.
called that. Yeah, I've been called that a lot.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Poor guy.
But one thing for sure, that you have emergency to take care of.
Yeah.
You have non-emergency to take care of.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Now, it is nothing wrong to mention a non-emergency. However, if you put this non-emergency in the position as if emergency, you're doing wrong. Am I right?
But I do think Iran and Korea are emergencies.
Now with Korea, the situation has been tightening on a day-to-day basis. This morning, the guy says that his trigger is closer. I mean, his finger is closer on the trigger.
Now, when you say his, you mean North Korea's finger or our finger?
North Korea.
Their finger.
The guy, the Kim guy.
Right.
Kim Jong-sung.
He's on a suicide trip.
He says he is whatsoever.
Yeah, he is.
Well, let him do his own business, right? But his finger is closer to the trigger.
Yeah.
Now, this has been on for quite some time. If we do not move ahead, if we do not do anything, it's hurting ourselves.
Oh, we'd be fools.
The U.S. image.
Yeah, we'd be fools. But we have lost respect all over the world during the last 8 years.
At this very moment, if we are really serious with North Korea, right? We better do not want desensitize the Korean nuclear issue by bringing the Iran-Korean issue on the table to dilute. This is my second reading of the decision of talking about the decertification.
Well, we all know that the solution to North Korea is China, and we hope and pray that they'll come through with the power.
Changed.
Well,
China
they are.
has
There's
changed.
very good.
Yeah. But China is on our side now. So
well, we hope so. Yeah, we hope so.
All right. Okay. All right, my dear friends, with Ken Hemming, today is one of the very, very exceptions that we got lots and lots of agreement on several issues. On this one, we got agreement. We never argue, right? So
absolutely.
Let's take a short moment now, and the last thing we come back with that we want to talk about is Harvey. How about that?
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein, right.
Not the
right, not the Hurricane Harvey.
The Hurricane Ernie Harvey, right?
This is how men can be bad.
Okay, so stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show. It's Jack Chow on East West Show with G&E TV, with EDI as the flagship. With me today is my good friend, Mr. Ken Hemming. Ken Hemming is a friend for many, many years with me. He is also a friend, a big friend to the community. We together have done lots of shows.
We have.
Because his set of mind I like. His philosophy I like.
Thank you.
His thinking power, thinking abilities I like. And the last thing I want to mention is that he is always my weight of a balance.
Yeah, we are.
If I want to go to the left too far, he is always dragging me.
And vice versa.
He's my balancer.
Yeah,
something like that.
That's good.
I appreciate to have a friend like that. On a Friday 13th, trying to avoid any conflict, right? We want to talk about also Harvey Weinstein.
We need to.
And I said Bill Cosby was the most extreme, was the supreme. We never know. There's always there's always a surpass.
So much, right? There's so much going on.
How much do you know about Mr. Weinstein?
Well, I know enough to be disgusted. You know, I have a mother, I have a sister, I have a daughter. I worship women, I respect them, I treat them right. I'm a gentleman, and not everybody does that. And in the Hollywood industry, there's the famous phrase is the casting couch, where maybe you've got to be nice to a producer. Which is what Harvey Weinstein has been for 30 years with Miramax. He and his brother own Miramax, and he has used his power and influence added with aggressive sexual force on many of the famous actresses now. All the names are coming out, but right now this fall from his power is unbelievable. And yet, even though
He was fired.
Well, they also say that in his contract, okay, because they got a copy of his contract, that he is allowed. He can't be fired if he rapes or does sexual harassment, as long as he pays the settlements in lawsuits. Okay, and so it's a big story going on right now about his contract, which means they obviously knew. You know, I mean, it hasn't been a secret. He's been, you know, a nasty man for years. Now, as a result, too, his wife's leaving him and whatever, but she knew what was going on, of course. But what's happening now, this is exploding because also, even this morning, an executive at Amazon, okay, is being attacked or exposed as being a harasser. You know, in Silicon Valley, it's 90% men about working there. Maybe it's different skill sets, because nobody doesn't like a bright woman, okay? I mean, everybody does. If you're smart enough, you know, and there are women that are running tech companies. But also then on the front page of the LA Times, one of the major fundraisers for USC has been dismissed for sexual harassment and treatment of women. And it's going in, it's just, and remember, Jack, when the news media, okay, in fact, and NBC won't even cover the Harvey Weinstein story, which is just, it's just insanity, okay? But when Mitt Romney said he had a book of wonderful female applicants for certain jobs he thought should be filled by a woman, they were calling him a harasser. Now, but yet when it's one of them, one of the leftist leaders, they want to cover it up. And the greatest person of all to cover it up is Hillary, who covered up who threatened all the women that Bill did bad things to. It's really, you know, and now is there hope? Maybe there's hope that men will learn to be a little bit nicer. Now, and 99% of men are wonderful gentlemen, but this is a real sad issue.
Thank you for laying down the cards.
Yeah,
it's a very ugly card. Very ugly card. I would look at it from a different angle, right? Remember last time we were talking about the national anthem and then the national flag,
right? Absolutely.
When those guys not salute
right.
to the flag and national anthem.
Yep.
Right. In the discussion I mentioned culture.
Right. That's right.
It is the culture.
It's the culture of Hollywood.
The culture of Hollywood.
And Silicon Valley.
A culture of sports arena.
Right.
A culture of Silicon Valley.
Right. You're right.
Those culture together create the environment. Those people consider themselves exceptional.
Right, and above the law.
Above the law.
And above decency, yeah.
Yeah, above the law.
Right.
All right. So now, I would say, I hate to challenge anybody. There's a famous guy who just passed away without mentioning the name. I know the name. Involvement of more than 2,000 women.
But voluntary, not.
I know.
Rape.
Yeah. The word voluntarily.
Right.
Okay, now.
Right.
The word volunteer has a different extent, has
sure.
different level.
Right.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. I really doubt none of them. Well, none of them wouldn't describe any situation of that nature.
Well, it's power that attracts people with an opportunity.
Why people takes it easy? Because it is him.
It's the opportunity that friendship and intimacy can provide, and it's real sad because every penny I've earned on training and talent.
This culture also happens in the political arena.
Oh, absolutely.
Back to Bill Clinton.
Right.
I don't know how you read his story.
Well, there's groupies for everybody. There's groupies for scientists.
And he was excused.
Yeah.
Why he was accused?
Yeah,
Do you think there's much of it because he was Bill Clinton?
He was excused because that's part of the culture of the left.
All right.
Left. It's part of the culture of the left.
Left or right, I don't care. I'm talking about the culture.
But the left attacks those on the right that maybe even look crooked at a woman. Right.
Now, the sports arena.
Yeah.
Right? Sports arena. They are the role models for people, for young people, especially for kids. right? Right.
Unfortunately true.
Unfortunately true.
Unfortunately
And yet,
true.
look at what they portray themselves.
It's going to change though. Yeah.
Somebody that do not even salute to your national flag,
Right.
to your national anthem.
Yeah.
Where do you belong?
Well, see,
belong to Mars?
I will never look at another National Football League game, even if all of a sudden they start standing, because we already know what they think of us. We know what they think of our country. And there's no greater country to be a black guy or a white guy in than America. Okay?
What I mean is that if you do not salute to your national flag,
Yeah.
you better belong to Mars.
You better get out of my country, our country.
No, the global Earth. Because
Right.
on the global Earth,
Right.
everybody does the same thing to their own country.
Absolutely.
Right?
You go try to do that in North Korea, your head's gone.
Of course.
You go try to do it in Russia.
Of course. Try it elsewhere.
Try it anywhere.
Try it
It doesn't
elsewhere.
work.
Everybody
Try it in
loves his
Mexico.
own country.
Doesn't work. Yeah.
Loves the own national
Yeah.
anthem.
You demean your
and
own.
they salute to them.
Right.
For somebody do not even do that,
Yeah.
well, you better belong to Mars, something like that. Okay. Look at Silicon.
They're low lifes.
Silicon, the high-tech arena.
Right. It's.
And they think of themselves as exceptional
They
too.
do. They do. A lot of arrogance up there. A lot of
Lots
arrogance.
of arrogance.
We're humble people. I like humble leaders, okay? And there's a lot of arrogance up there. Like, I am definitely not a fan of Google's
Now back
Facebook.
to the culture issue.
Yeah.
Okay. All these political arena, the sports arena, Hollywood circle, and the Silicon Valley circle, all these four areas prevails a culture that allows them to go from worse to worse.
And what do they have in common, Jack?
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's liberalism. It's liberalism.
No,
that
no,
they all have it in common.
Liberalism is
It's part of liberalism culture,
is
in my opinion.
okay. Now, it's in Las Vegas. There's a term called zoomanity.
Zoomanity?
Zoomanity.
Okay.
Zoo and humanity together.
Okay.
Zoomanity.
Okay.
Probably zoomanity, because you're, as a society, you have to override your zoomanity.
I don't know what zoomanity is.
Zoomanity
I apologize.
is a combination of zoo,
Okay.
the animal zoo,
Right. And manity.
and humanity.
Okay.
Zoomanity.
Okay. Okay.
Thinking about, it's a humanity started with the
No, we are all animals.
zoology.
We are all
We're all
animals.
animals.
We are all
Right,
animals.
humanity,
I'm an
okay?
animal. Yeah.
I'm talking about, as a society, as a civilized society, you want to override your animal part,
Yes, you do.
right?
Yes, you do.
You want to override that.
Right.
Once you are not able to override that,
Right.
you are an animal.
That's right.
That's it.
And that's what's happening.
That's
Yeah.
my whole take.
Right.
That's my whole take.
I appreciate that vision. And so what's going to happen? I don't know, but I believe it's going to grow and grow and grow. And it will take a long time for the left media to properly address it, but they're starting to. They're starting
Once
to.
again, you back to page 1.
Well,
Okay,
it's
we
the
are
truth.
talking about this issue is neutral. This issue is neutral.
It's not neutral.
All right, it is neutral.
Okay.
You tell me where these guys politically belong, left or right?
Liberal left.
No, they belong
Absolutely.
to the zoo.
I'll drink to that.
All right, or you
I'll
drink
drink.
to that. Okay,
I'll
okay,
drink to
my
that.
dear friend, we almost argued.
That's good, Jack.
I just cut him off.
They belong to the zoo.
I just cut him off because there's a Friday the 13th. I
Yeah.
try to not to argue with anybody else, but with him, I'm not arguing either. So it's a very nice discussion with my
Big day.
friend Ken Hammy.
Big day.
I had some good time, and to my dear friend, my audience back there, and thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.
And thank
all right?
you. And thank you.
Good.